Hey everyone, Christina here from the Glaser Tutoring Company, and today we got a good one because we're going to solve this system of equations. We got two equations here, right? They might be interacting with each other, they might not, they might be the same line, right? Well, in either case, we got to solve. So if they give you two, what was this? There we go, that's much better. I've been perfecting these for years. I remember, long story short, but in class, whatever grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, when I saw my teacher do one of these in the class, I said, oh man, I got to learn how to do that. And I spent, 3 pages in the back of my notebook just doing this all day long. And, oh yeah, that one's the best one. But aha, I finally got it. But anyway, back to the story, right? Or back to the question. If you have two or more lines, right, or functions in this case, that's part of your system. So we got a beautiful system here. We got two equations, and we need to somehow solve. Now the solution is when these lines communicate with each other or when they intersect. So if I have one line that's going one way and the other line's going another way, the solution is the point in which they communicate. So X marks the spot. Now I drew linear lines here because these two are linear lines. Linear lines are only when you have X values and Y values and they're all raised to the first. So if you have your X raised to the first and your Y is raised to the first and you don't have any squares or cubing, you got a straight line, my friend. And let's solve for that point, right? So in essence, a point just comes down to an X and a Y coordinate. So that's essentially what we're doing. We're trying to find these X's and these Y's. Now there's few ways of solving systems of equations. You got the substitution method. Can I speak today? Maybe. The substitution method, the addition method, and the elimination method. And sometimes I use substitution, sometimes I use addition or elimination. It really depends on what's given here. Now, it all is going to boil down to what's easiest, right? Now, in this case, I got 3x and a 6x, right? If we're doing substitution, if you want to do substitution, one of these variables should just be an x equals or a y equals. But I got 6x, I got 3x, I got 2y, and an 8y. I don't have just one that has just 1 in front of it. So chances are I'm going to do elimination or addition. Now, either way, it doesn't matter, but for each one of these, you have to have the same number for the variable. So for example, if I'm trying to eliminate my x values, I have to make sure that they're the same number. And if I have a 3 and a 6, I might even just go straight for this, right? How would I be able to get one of these to be the other? Yeah, I could take the 3, and I know that 3 times 2 gets me 6. So what I can do is I could take the bottom value and just times it by 2. In that case, 2 times 3 will get me 6. So let's try that out, right? So I didn't do anything with the first equation. So we'll say equation 1. We're just going to leave it. So 6x, and maybe what I'll do is I'll do 6x minus 8y. And then that's going to equal a negative 0.6. And now for equation 2, this is the one that I am going to multiply. So I got to be fair though. If I take the 2 and times it by the 3, I got to do it for all of the values. I'm just going to take my time, right? 2 times 3, that's 6. So 6x. And now 2 times 2 is 4, so I got plus 4y. And then equals, let's see, 2 times 0.9, so 2 times 9 is 18. I have one decimal place, so this would now be 1.8. Okay, we are ready. Now, the question is here, how am I going to get rid of this variable? Am I going to add or am I going to subtract? Yeah, I'm going to subtract, right? Because I have both positive values. So I have to subtract these to get rid of them. So I would do 6x minus 6x. And if you are subtracting, just know that the art of subtracting is the elimination method. So this we are doing the elimination. If you, on the flip side, had to add them to cancel them out, that's the addition method. So just to show you, the type of method that we're doing elimination because we're literally subtracting. Subtracting is elimination. So 6 minus 6, cross that off, goodbye. And now let's just do some of the math, right? So now we have a -8 minus a +4. So this is essentially 8 minus 4. So what's that? -12. So we have a -12y. And this equals, let's see here, -6 minus 1.8. So whatever that is, right? So -6 minus, so we're basically adding these and making them negative. So we have a 4, so 2.4. And negative, so -2.4. Right? Yeah. 1.8 and a 6, so that's a 2, that's a 4, bring over the 1. Yep, okay, we're good to go here. Now, let's just solve for y, right? We gotta get y by itself, so I'm going to divide by -12. This goes bye-bye. And now, y equals, let's see, -2.4 divided by -12. Well, if I didn't have the decimal and I had -24 divided by -12, that's a 2. But now I have that decimal, so I just swing the number over to the left. So this would be 0.2. And let's just make this fancy. Not fancy, but sometimes if I don't like the way I write things, I write it 15 million times. Okay, so we got y equals 0.2, and that's our y coordinate. So we got the y value. The y value is 0.2. Now all we have to do is still find out what that x value is. Well, you got two options. We have the y value, so what we can do is use whichever one that looks easier to do. If you want to use the first equation and plug in for y, that's fine with me. If you want to use the bottom one, that's fine with me as well. I'm going to use the bottom one because I like working with lower numbers, 3s and 2s instead of 6 and 8s. So we're going to take equation 1 and just plug it in, right? So we got 3x plus, we'll say 2y, right? We'll just rewrite this. And then this equals -0.9. And now let's just solve for x. So we got 3x plus 2 times the 0.2 is going to go in here. So 2 times 0.2, and that's going to equal 0.9. Okay, so we got 3x. And then 2 times 2 is 4, but now I have that decimal, so I swing it to the left. So this would be plus 0.4, and this equals 0.9. Let's do some subtraction. So I got minus 0.4, minus 0.4. So then we got 3x equals, what is that, 0.5? Right? 0.9 minus 0.4 is 0.5. And now, let's just divide it on out. Now this one is interesting because I get, if I actually do the math, right? 0.5, which is a half, right? So essentially, if you want, right? If you don't want to do fractions, or actually if you don't want to do decimals and you have to do fractions anyway, because if you want to make it into like a fraction value, just know that 0.5 is 1/2, right? And I'm dividing it by 3. So this is the keep, change, where you're going to keep your 0.5, which is 1/2, and you're going to times it by the reciprocal. So instead of 3, it would be 1/3. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6. So x equals 1/6. So if you want to keep it as, the actual fraction, you can. 1/6 comes out to being like 0.1666666 repeating. So I'm just going to leave it like this. And there you go. Also, if you want 0.2 to be in fraction form, just know that, 0.2 is 2/10, which is the same thing as 1/5. So it doesn't really matter, whether you use fractions or decimals, they all mean the same thing. But this would be the same thing as 2/10, which when simplified is 1/5. So this is 1/6. And then you have 1/5 for the y value. So yeah, I think after that, we're pretty much done, right? Maybe what I'll do is give both as fractions, because I don't like giving one as a fraction and one as a decimal. So we'll say 1/6, and then we'll do 1/5. And that is your final answer, and that is the point that they share. There you go. What'd you think? I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for viewing the video. Subscribe, like the channel, like the video, whatever you guys do, right? Tell your friends, tell your classmates about this cool channel. I think it's pretty cool. Education for all. It's fun. It's fun, right? But yeah, thank you so much. Also, I would like to give a huge shout out to Maricela. Thank you so much for being a member to the channel. Your support means a lot to my brother and me, and we're thrilled to have you be a part of this amazing community. Memberships are open on the channel, and if you want to become a member, just click that join button, which can be found below on any video if you're watching on your desktop, or it can be found on the overall channel page too. For all of you that want your name shown in the video, don't forget to choose the gold tier or higher. Thank you so much for considering, and have a great day. Talk to you in the next lesson. Bye-bye!